Super chat.
Boom.
Stellar Justin Lopez with the $5. We appreciate you as always, Justin. Thoughts on Nick Gage facing Chris Jericho tonight? Also, Booker, would you trust/work with somebody who has the reputation of a Gage? Now, Nick Gage isn't somebody I'm wholly familiar with, but I know that he's a part of, I believe it's called GCW. He is the king of the death match. He and Zack Ryder just had a bloody affair, Matt Cardona, excuse me. And I believe this is the guy that Arquette got in the ring with when he had that death match.
Yeah.
So first question first. Him facing Chris Jericho tonight. This is part of that storyline between him and MJF. He's got to go through all these little obstacles to get to MJF. This is the second one. What do you think?
Well, I tell you this, Nick Gage. I've never met this dude before in my life. But I tell you, if everybody in this business had the same thought process as a Nick Gage, the business will be in a much, much better place.
Explain that.
I say that because we're in an era of social media. Okay, we're in an era where everybody want to get their word out there. Everybody want to get their word out to their followers. They want to post something. This guy, Nick Gage, you pull up like photos of this guy, and you're never going to see him smiling in any of them. He's got the same look on his face in every photo, in every picture that I've ever seen him in. It is not a picture of him being like happy. It's a picture of being like a guy that's getting ready to go into a death match each and every night. He's the real deal. As far as what he does and what he brings to the table. So I cannot disparage him at all. If the guys in the WWE, Impact Wrestling, AEW, they can learn a whole lot from this Nick Gage. And that's just my opinion on that.
Okay, good. Well, you know what? I didn't expect that because, again, I don't know enough about Nick Gage. I just know he's the the death match guy.
No, but the thing is, I don't know a whole lot about him either. But when I tell you, like I say, when your name get there before you do,
yeah,
it means a whole lot. When someone see you and they see something different about you in this business, it's uncanny. And for me, when I see Nick Gage, now, mind you, I'm gonna tell you right now, I've never watched any of his wrestling. I've never watched one match, but I know when you look at this dude, he ain't the guy you're gonna walk up on and say, "Hey man, what about that? That wrestling stuff y'all do?" Because he might, David Schultz, he might hit you. He might do something to you. He's the real deal.
Yeah.
That's why I say if everybody, walked along that same line and took this thing as serious as this guy do, it would be a much better place.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this though. I know you haven't seen his wrestling. However, to answer the second part of the question, Booker, would you trust/work with someone who has the reputation of a Gage? So I guess, would you do a death match is my question. Don't even think about the Nick Gage side of it. Would you do a death match in general where there are light tubes and barbed wire and I think I already know the answer to this question, thumbtacks and things of that nature?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But I'm not Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is, he's been pretty extreme throughout his career. He's been willing
some stuff.
He's been willing to throw caution to the wind, and I think he may have even done the thumbtack thing before. But for me, it's not my cup of tea or anything like that. But knowing it's going to be on AEW TV, and we could construct this thing a little bit differently than the way Nick Gage would normally construct it, I will feel comfortable with it. I think Gage having a shot on AEW TV, no matter what people may think, I think that's a big deal for him. I really do. I think,
Sure.
I mean, this guy's been, of course, the king of the independent world, the king of the death matches. But to make it to prime time, being one of those guys, unlike a New Jack. New Jack didn't make it to prime time TV.
Yeah.
So this guy's is put eyes on him, and obviously the brass in AEW think, man, we can get something out of this. This might work, because there again, it's a lot of the indie world is huge. It's huge. So I think it could work.
Yeah, I think it could work, and it's fine for him being on TV. I'm excited to see it tonight. I just, when I was younger, I think we talked about this before, I used to love the hardcore matches. I mean, that was my favorite thing. I wanted to see all the I want to see somebody get hit with something. And as I've gotten older, those are the ones that make me the most squeamish, right? Like I can't even watch it anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you can go through and like have the light tubes being smashed over your face. It reminds me of the movie in The Wrestler, when Mickey Rourke has the hardcore match with the guy, right? And they're going over it. He's like, staple me here, hit me like this with the thing. I'm just like, man, is there not an easier way to do this? Like, do we have to do it this way? And I know, like you said, there's always a place for everybody on the show.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't want to be the guy who is now expected by the fans to go out there and do something wild, stupid, and crazy, like a New Jack did back in his day, or a Nick Gage is doing now. I don't know. I just wouldn't want to be that guy in the locker room.
Well, I wouldn't either. You know what I mean? But there again, you got to understand, man, the guys that do that kind of stuff, they don't do it, I don't think, because they have to. I don't think they're doing it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing it for the money. Just say, for instance, Johnny Knoxville, Jackass, and those guys. I mean, come on.
They're doing a fourth movie.
Those guys was like so stupid and doing some of the craziest stuff. But sometimes when you're young, when you knowing that it's a legacy that you're going to leave that nobody else can do, it's an adrenaline rush. It's a high. So I totally understand where this guy's coming from.
Yeah, but then you get pigeonholed into that, right? I mean, Johnny Knoxville has had a good career as an actor, but everyone just wants to see him go out there and get hit by a bull, right? Or get shot out of a rocket and crash and burn. I mean, I even remember Mick Foley talking one time in an interview, talking about how he always felt like he had to one-up himself from the time before and keep going. Next thing you know, he's getting chokeslammed through a cage to the floor or whatever, going through a flaming table with thumbtacks in his face, right? It's like, if you become that guy, it's hard, and people expect that out of you. You might have done it at first for yourself, or to get noticed, but now it's all that people want to see. And man, I mean, that can really shorten your career.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but I can honestly say, I'm not 100% sure, but I think if you ask Mick Foley if he would do it all over again, I think he would say yes.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure that he would, because
and
it got him his notoriety.
I think he would say yes, and I don't think there again. That's the nature of the beast and the man. Mick Foley was jumping off of his house before he ever made a dime.
Yeah.
We got these extreme guys doing biking in the mountains, jumping off of stuff where they could easily die. And I can only imagine. I don't know how much money these guys are getting paid for that, but I get it. I can't imagine it being more than a basketball player or a football player or anything like that. I think those guys do it for the love of the game. So I don't think you could ever take that away from, the Mick Foleys and the Nick Gages of the world. I just think that's just part of their DNA.
I know.
That's just the way they are supposed to go out and do it. It wasn't meant for me to go out and do it that way. I'm glad of that, just because it hurts. It really does. It's not. Just say, for instance, Kurt Angle doing a moonsault off the cage, landing in the middle of the ring. You don't think that hurt?
I can't even imagine.
You don't think when he get up the next morning out of bed, if he can get up, he may have to roll out of bed, and then get to his knees to hold on to the wall, to get to the shower, to cut it on as hot as he can bear it. No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious, because I know I've done that before. I know I've rolled out of the bed before and, held onto the wall just to get to the shower because my body is in dire straits. I know that. So to watch these guys do this, it's not something that they're not going to wear with them later on. No doubt. But are they willing to put themselves through it every day? And I've watched it throughout my career, and nothing but high praise for those guys. Nothing but high praise. But for me, I go, wow, man. Like I say, the first time I met Sabu, coming out of the Tokyo Inn, in Tokyo, Japan, I say, man, do I really want to be in this business? Because this guy was cut up, he was mangled, bruised, battered, and torn. But that's the business, baby. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.